morning. I'm Kay Williams. I'm chairman of the Properties Committee. I'd like to wish you all a Happy New Year and glad we have this large crowd of people that are so interested in what's going on in properties. So without further ado, if you will join me for the pledge to the flag.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We do have a quorum this morning. We are expecting one of our members to join us who got injured yesterday, so I don't know if she'll be joining us on phone or not, but we hope so, but we do have a quorum. Next item is 2.01, the minutes from the November 9, 2023 Properties Committee meeting. Anybody have any changes or corrections? If not, they will be accepted as printed. Item 301, Carl, you're up. This is our update on facilities and capital projects, and he will be followed immediately by Russ Boston, who will give his portion of it on the facilities maintenance. Go ahead, Carl.
Good morning and Happy New Year, committee and audience. This report consists of 2 months worth of reporting since we had some holiday committees canceled. So over November and December at R.H. Johnson, parking lot 1, the seal and stripe was completed on 11/1. The bocce facility turf replacement was completed on 12/1. Metal shop flat roof restoration was completed on 12/13. The lawn bowling flat roof restoration was completed 12/9. These restorations provide us an extended 10-year warranty on these roofs, so you won't see any, you'll see the tracking for the reserve study. This will pop back up in 10 years. Just a little info for roofing. Over at Beardsley, we have the aquatics building. We had an ADA ramp concrete replacement. Our old ramp was slightly out of spec, so we put a brand new ramp in there and also repaired some additional broken concrete walkways. That was completed on 11/3. In addition to that closure, we did the aquatics building hallway ADA stainless steel handrail that the community has been asking for a long time. That was completed during that closure on 11/2. And over at Deer Valley, the pro shop flooring, this is a carryover from last year's budget. And we scheduled it into this season due to golf closures. So that's why the difference in time frame. And that was all the flooring in the pro shop was completed on 11/16. The behind sales counter and the back kitchen area was all tile. And the front patio areas were done in LVT flooring. And that concludes the November and December projects.
Does anyone have any questions for Carl, the committee? Any questions from the audience? Take it away, Russ.
Good morning, everyone. Okay, common walls, R.H. Johnson Boulevard. They are in the process of being painted by a vendor. Right now, they are focusing on Meeker to Grand Avenue. And once that section has been 100% painted, they will then start at Meeker out to Bell Road. They have made the whole stretch and painting, repairing cracks and stuff. So as you drive up and down, you'll see they get ugly before they get pretty again. So that has begun. Also still in progress is the painting of the exterior Palm Ridge. The aquatics building has been done. We're about 60% completed with the activities building. Also, I thought it'd be nice to put together the tickets that were done are work orders that I don't typically report on because they're mostly small stuff. 436 tickets were created from November 2nd through January 2nd. 405 of those were closed, with 31 still remaining open. And then for the year, we did 2,784 tickets. 2,750 of those have been closed and 34 remain open. And the majority of the ones that are open are ones that we have on hold A good, for instance, would be the barbecue pits that we still have 2 of those to build over at Beardsley. So it's more of a timing thing. There's nothing pressing. So that concludes my report.
Anyone have any questions for Russ? From the committee? From the audience? Thank you, Russ. Thank your staff. I think it's important people see these numbers and realize how many things get done around here that none of us ever recognize. So thank you for your good work and your employees as well. That moves us along to item 401. It's an update on the new lawn bowling bench approval. Just want to update the committee, and if you saw the independent in your driveway, it made the front page, but just wanted to let you know that the governing board at their last meeting did approve moving up the purchase of 48 benches for the lawn bowling. Carl found another vendor that can come closer to meeting our time needs as far as the big tournaments they've got coming up, and I just wanted to make sure the committee was all aware that that has been approved and it's on this year's budget. So thanks for all your work, Carl, and getting that done. I know the club greatly appreciates it, so thank you. .02, capital budget, January revision. As you all know on the committee, we've been having a monthly update since September. So this is the latest revision of any changes that have been made since our last meeting, which was in November. So Carl, it's all yours.
So for full transparency, we continue the first document here showing 100% of the budget for your review each and every month. But after the last 3 months of discussions from all committees, this is the official list that was provided per policy to the general manager on December 1st. We did not have a December meetings to discuss in any depth. So you see now that we are also in the project planning processes timeframe where we are going to follow this document up with discussing items over 50,000 to the highest level being proposed in the budget. So again, this document sits here for your review of the entire budget. There was only one change that I want to point out, and that was in the new category. So if you're looking at the yellow or tan pages, you'll see that from the last 3 months discussions, we had the request to add a facilities guard shack proposed in the budget over at Palm Ridge for the opportunity of having staff monitor the pickleball facility, and that comes at a cost with purchase, installation, and shipping. Approximately $25,000 is being proposed in the budget. Other than that, all categories are the same. What you've heard me discuss and other committees here heard over the last 3 months. I have nothing to add other than this is for your review.
Does anyone have any questions? You will recall that the idea of adding that facility at Palm Ridge came out of our properties inspection, recognizing the need to have a better facility for our monitor at the pickleball courts. John?
Yes, thank you. Can you review for us on the committee and anyone that's in the audience or listening, the next steps on the capital as far as approvals or recommendations and any deep dive on questions on these? How do we handle those and when?
Carl, I believe when you and I talked previously that the plan is the basic review today that we just got to take a look at. Next month, it'll be coming back to us on our agenda for more in-depth discussion. I want you to have time to look at this and get your questions ready for next month. Then it continues on in March. At that point is when we review the 100,000 plus. This is the 50,000 plus right now. And of course, it continues on into April and May until the budget's finally adopted. But the big bulk of our work planned on February and March.
Yeah, thank you. I have some questions that I'll hold until next month on these,
Okay.
per your outline here. Thank you very much.
Yes, I would encourage the rest of the committee to do the same. Make a list of your questions now that you'll have time to review this, and come ready with questions, suggestions, items you'd like to see removed, items you'd like to see changed or added, any questions you have on costs that are estimated for these things. That's the time to be ready for them. So that will be the bulk of next month's meeting.
Thank you for the clarification.
Anyone else have any questions? Any questions from our audience? Carl, you ready to go over to the next section of it?
Yes, I am. Okay, thank you. Our next section is the little more in-depth version of capital items over 50,000 to the highest level being proposed in the budget. Again, this is part of the project planning process for January and February. February would be kind of our last opportunity for those questions so that we can move on to the March and April over $100,000 discussions. This is how we start narrowing things down so that there's less to discuss or even debate on when it comes to overall budget considerations in the latter part of the spring season, April, May. And this also provides us the foundation for how we begin community forums so that they have a clear understanding of what we're presenting as the budget, both capital and operating. So I'll begin with, again, our new items. You'll see there's a higher level of detail for each item, as I discussed there would be in these months. So the Sports Pavilion Lizard Acres barroom renovation and equipment for $225,000. And the speaking points on that are, it's a 40 linear foot of new bar and top, 2 walk-up point of sale areas, static seating for 160 to 180 persons, maintains 5 Wii bowling displays, 3 dartboards, and then we have some new coolers and sanitizing equipment per code, relocation of the 3-compartment sink, relocation of our existing equipment of the 4-tap beer cooler, adding a new 2-tap beer cooler for craft beers, modify and add lighting controls as needed per the design, and then obviously modified plumbing and electrical and HVAC per the design, and architectural comments, and then bar and framing decor ideas. You will see that this picture on the frame is what the architect is working with, and the relocation of the bar to a central point along the wall, exterior wall of the sports pavilion. Moving on, we have the library expansion, renovation, design, architecture, and documents for $100,000. This is a multi-year planning project. This funds allow us to make decisions to get more documents from architectural designers and engineers so that we can get a 60% level set of plans to be able to provide to the governing board and the committees for next year and the following year discussions on moving forward with a library expansion, if that's the course of direction that we end up going. R.H. Johnson tractor with backhoe, $75,000. Again, facilities maintenance equipment, rapid response availability, eliminates costly rentals and the time to travel to pick up those rentals, and reduces the need for subcontractors. Beardsley Park iron fence, $57,500. Again, this decoratively encloses the Beardsley Park. It has multiple member entrances and staff vehicle maintenance entrances with gates. And it reduces labor and the fatigue from the temporary fence install and the replacement of that fence that just gets eaten up by the sun and elements and the setup and tear down. Kuntz tennis facility renovation. This is the same request as like for the library. This is $50,000 in architectural design and engineering documents so that we can make a 60% plan to have discussions in the next year for renovating the Kuntz facility. Moving on to reserve study items, we have the Kuntz outfield fence replacement, $495,000. This is a replacement of 520 linear feet of existing 24-foot tall fence. It also replaces all the existing crash pads, the new fence and post to support a 30-foot tall fence. Fence posts currently broken in 2 locations have been repaired for, the short term, thanks to facilities maintenance. The cost impacts in this project are because of increased diameter posts to go to the higher height, increase in fence height, as I mentioned, and the subsequent part of the job of removing the warning track temporarily to actually do the project is a cost that's factored in here as well. Moving on to Silvercraft remodel, millwork and countertops replacement. This project has multiple components, as you see in this document. So $375,000 for interior renovation of all original club millwork and countertops. It involves custom heavy-duty countertops in some areas. A difficulty in procuring reface and millwork vendors is evident in my research and discussion with subcontractors in the valley. And some of the areas, instead of reface, they may require all new millwork in lieu of refacing if I can't find somebody between the time of approval of this project and the decision to have a start date. So, but I am working diligently on that and trying to create some new relationships. We'll have some office area demo and reframing, and the other areas of this project involve LVT flooring, which is another line item from the reserve study tool. And then grid sealing and sprinkler head replacement due to we're doing such a major remodel to that room. Moving on to the Palm Ridge outdoor pool deck resurface, $186,266. This simply covers, replaces the existing concrete textured outdoor pool deck with the rubber that we've done at both Kuntz and R.H. Johnson. Palm Ridge Activities and Aquatics Building flat roof restoration for $160,000. Again, this is our program of roofing maintenance that allows us to continue to add on 10-year warranties at a time at a minimum. Sometimes our roofs, after evaluation that 10-year period, we go to 12, 13 years. But you can see in the picture here that after a restoration, this is exactly how our roofs look. This particular roof here is the lawn bowling roof, completed a few weeks ago. And you can see that it absolutely looks fantastic and brand new, and I think everybody can understand why we don't have the roofing problems that some other commercial properties may experience. Palm Ridge Fitness Center cardio equipment. This is our next year's program for the rec center that's due, and that's Palm Ridge. $159,000 in cardio. In a moment, I'll be discussing the strength equipment. This involves 26 pieces approximately of treadmills, cross trainers, recumbent bikes, upright bikes. On January 15th and 16th, you'll see this year's current capital budget. Beardsley's being replaced here in another week. So R.H. Johnson flat roofs over the admin building, $140,000. Again, our 10-year warranty extension. This roof, again, is part of the metal shop, so you can see what the metal shop roof looks like. Todd Patty in his Department of Landscape Environmental Services has 5 landscaping vehicles for $110,000. The replacing average age of these vehicles is generally 10 years or plus, and it's the Workman Force heavy-duty utility vehicles that we're discussing. Palm Ridge's indoor pool deck is under the same time frame, resurfacing of that existing epoxy chip coat and going with the rubber EDPM inside of there, 4,242 square foot of existing deck and 613 linear foot of the vertical coping, edge coping. Moving on to Palm Ridge's Fitness Center's strength equipment. We already discussed cardio. Russ and I have been notified that this equipment no longer has any support from the manufacturer. It is approximately 20-plus-year-old equipment, and they will not be supporting us with any more parts. We are starting to begin experiencing that it's not just the parts that we replace, it's actually the welded components that don't even come with parts, so it's time, and we've gotten a great life out of this equipment. Admin building, R.H. Johnson copiers, 3 copiers for $62,400. Previously purchased in 2015, and currently we are experiencing heavy amount of downtime due to repairs. R.H. Johnson Fitness Edition, small maintenance, pool storage, and flat roof areas. Same thing, our 10-year warranty extension. R.H. Johnson's facilities maintenance pickup truck replaces our M8 currently aged out vehicle. And then we are discussing 50,000 above, but as a courtesy, I listed all the rest of the HVAC units across the campus that are in the below 50,000 category, just so you have an understanding of how many units come up each year for review for the facilities maintenance team to manage. But at Kuntz, 5 units for $51,584. R.H. Johnson, 5 units for $43,888. R.H. Johnson, 3 units in a different location, $38,480. And then a singular separate location unit at Kuntz for $7,904 approximately. And then to finalize the RSMT, the reserve study tool items, this slide is that I manage. This slide's a little out of sequence, but our allowances haven't changed. $420,000 for unknown, unexpected items, and our categories generally fall into the well pump, safety and structural, equipment, information technology, energy conservation, 80 compliance upgrades, and then unexpected facility improvements that might come up through the year from either staff or the governing board requests. And then I'm going to breeze through this kind of quickly, but it's a large component of the budget. In fact, it's the largest component. Echo Mesa's irrigation and turf reduction project for $5,050,000. Todd will be discussing this in high-level detail at the golf committee if you're interested in hearing those details. But these slides are here for your information. Todd mentioned to me that he has some adjustments to make in the project timeline sheet, just due to ongoing timeline discussions going on with staff and vendors. So that's going to change a little bit, but I think they're doing some form of full course closure differently than what they did at Grandview. So more to come on that. And to kind of round this out, we go into equipment replacement. You had golf course maintenance equipment at $982,000. Vehicle replacement at $358,000 approximately. Very detailed list provided by accounting on what that breakdown involves. I will be managing a Desert Trails Pro Shop parking lot asphalt replacement if approved for $135,000. And this would complete our asphalt replacement projects for a few years. I think the only thing technically coming up 3, 4, 5 years down the road is Stardust. But right now it's doing very well in its extended life due to our 3 and 4 year seal coat maintenance. So that's been pushed out for a while. Other than that, in the next few years, you will not have any parking lot replacement. And then finally, golf carts from Golf Ops for $129,792 for 20 carts. And that concludes the January and February list of 50,000 and greater. And I'm ready for any questions if you have any.
Does anybody have any questions for clarification from Carl? Tom?
Thanks, Kate. On the first one is the Lizard Acres Barn Room. As you enter the room, then off to the left, there's a doorway that opens up. That's a closet area, I assume?
That's a fire riser
Fire riser.
room,
Okay.
closet.
All right. I
There's
didn't
nothing.
remember it. That's why I was asking.
Yep.
Because that's, bathrooms are that direction too as well.
Bathrooms are on that same water line wall, if you will. Plumbing, you know, all in sequence.
All right. Thank you, Carl.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Thank you, Carl. Now you all have your homework for next month. So we'll give you plenty of time to study these and come prepared with a lot of questions, and don't be afraid to question anything or suggest something that may not be here that you think ought to be. So that'll be one of your close to the final chances before the bigger review that comes in March that Carl mentioned. So that gets us to 5.01, committee comments. Anybody have a comment they wish to make? A quiet group today, okay? Alan, have we had anything come in on the,
The only thing we had is Sherry Jones sent in, let us know that she is online. Other than that, we've had no other comments.
okay. Happy New Year, Sherry, glad you could join us online. Any questions from the audience on any topic at all? If you would like to make a comment, please go to the microphone, sign in your name and your rec card number, and you will have 2 minutes to speak.
Sorry about that. Didn't want to bend over and hurt my back. Don Marshall, 132962. I'm from Pickleball. We have objected to the $50,000 study for Kuntz upgrades or renovation before, and we just want to reiterate that we still do. And we have a number of reasons for this, and if you would like to contact us between now and next February, we can give you any information you need. Not next February, next month. But rather than beat it up here, we are available for questions.
Anybody have any questions for him right now?
There'll be a lot of data I don't have right now
Uh-huh, okay.
as far as usage and our proposal for better usage of courts, that type of thing.
Great, we look forward to hearing from you. We did hear from your president last month, and she
Right.
also interested that you were not interested in that area for pickleball, so.
Right, we have a better proposal for long-term. Seems to be a short-term fix for what we're looking at. And she would have been here today, but she couldn't, so she sent me.
Thank you. Appreciate your comments. Anyone else? If not, we are adjourned. See you in February.